Today I'm going to demonstrate how to create a 2-button controller from an old mouse and a plush toy and some switches. And you can use that for any game on a PC or a Mac or anything that uses a mouse. You can remap it and use it for any game that has a 2-button input. So for this game, Guppy by Christian Molman, I'm just using it to control the tail of this little fish. And it's pretty great. Nothing to do with a lion, but they don't make that many sort of fish plushies. So, oh well. We don't actually need anything else on this board except for the board itself. So you can even get rid of this, the scroll wheel. And here you have the inside of a mouse, an optical mouse, a wired optical mouse. Things to note are infrared LED down here. Left click, right click, middle click, scroll wheel. These 3 buttons here are the easiest to play with because they are simply on off. Look at the back, you can see there are 3 pins for each switch. However, only 2 of these pins are soldered. So our first task is to unsolder the 2 pins for each button that you want to remove. But trust me, this bit does not always happen easily. So, depending on your setup at home, you might have this a lot easier than me. My setup involves a lot of dexterity in my fingers. So the mouse now has no left or right click. They're replaced with these cables, and the LED is also being replaced with these cables. So the only requirement now is to basically make these 2 exposed ends of wire touch. You can use what I'm going to use, which is an old arcade button. You could use something much smaller, like this little switch. You could use a old guitar foot pedal, or even something like a toggle switch. Any switch is totally fine. These buttons both work, they're both illuminated, although they keep flashing. I don't know why that is. So let's put them in the stuffed toy. Okay, old mouse, gone. Behold the new mouse. 2 arcade buttons connected to the left and right clicks, soldered quite poorly, illuminated by the LED from the mouse. So when preparing a soft toy, the trick is to just not feel anything. For this toy, I'm going to simply cut along the seams at the back, because that will be easier to stitch or pin together. So this is going to require a lot of stuffing removal. Obviously, the less you have to do to a toy, the easier it's going to be to put back together and make it look like a toy still. And now, he's terrifying. I have this little bit of wood to place behind the eyes, and it should give enough resistance that the buttons can be pressed without sort of falling back into the fabric. These buttons also come apart, so the wood goes in the back. The eyes go through the front. If you're not sure how big to make the holes for the buttons, the best bet in fabric is just to cut or slice an X, and you can fold the flaps of the fabric down. That way you can put a button through and it should give you a lot more purchase. The one thing you don't want is the button to fall through into the toy. I mean, there's a lot of things you don't want. For example, this lion probably didn't want to end up looking like this. So we want left and right. So left is orange, right is purple. Simply put the buttons back together in your toy. I'm going to put a bit of stuffing around these buttons. And then I'm going to shove the whole mouse back up in there. And put a lot of stuffing in there. Okay, so I've pinned him back together. He seems all right. Nice and round. Let's plug him in. Now, if that doesn't scare you, I don't know what will.